Welcome in, IllinoisPrep.com. Skylar King alongside Glenbard South legend at running back. Eric Seals thinks he's a basketball player, I guess. But speaking of running backs, as we jump right in here, Josh Williams had himself a day, as it seems like he does every week, but this time against his rival.
Yep, no surprise, Josh Williams went for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 24-14 win over their rivals, Downers Grove North.
Yeah, that was a game I was at last year, a 17-14 game, and Downers South seems to be a runaway freight train. Mount Carmel, Frank Lenti just keeps extending that wins record.
Yep, Brandon Greer went for 240 yards, 3 touchdowns. 35-24, Brother Rice is showing that we are a team that...
2 straight tough games.
Yes, but it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. But 35-24.
Next year? You're already giving the season up?
No, I'm saying that they're showing this year that they're they're contending, but next year let's see if they can continue. It's like Boise State with 1 game versus 10. Okay. Montini.
God, who did someone?
I did. I picked Aurora Christian. I was wrong, but that's okay though, because you got to take risks sometimes in your picks. Montini's been a little down, but they showed that if you have Jordan Westerkamp on your team, it doesn't really matter.
But then the next game, we were both wrong on, as our Celtics, with the backup quarterback, a ton of turnovers, and Rita took advantage. Yeah,
Ryan Leonard went 2 picks, took 1 back for a score, St. Rita 19-0 over the Celtics. I'm a little surprised about that game. Obviously, for me thinking and us thinking that Providence was going to be a little better this year. So,
and look out, Rita! Only that one loss that we saw, 7-0. They're undefeated in state, and then the big one.
Yep.
Our Raiders get the win.
Doing good. Yeah.
At home with Flossmoor, also known as for Eric Seals as Indiana. They went in there, and this game was a blowout.
Yeah.
And Homewood Flossmoor did some window dressing in the second half. Aaron Bailey and company came to play.
Aaron Bailey, first time I got to see him this year. Very impressive. Definitely passes the look test.
Bigger than you thought.
A lot bigger than I thought. 23 carries, 154 yards, went for 3 touchdowns. After seeing this game, their offense, both sides of the ball. This definitely could be a very good team. I'm glad, that we picked them early in the year to be one of our top 10 teams. They have a big game coming up against Lincoln East, though.
The impressions I got, well, one, Robbie Bain's got a mean streak.
Yep.
And that, you saw that because in the first half, Bolingbrook outrushed them 269-4.
That sounds like the Chicago Bears.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Antonio Morrison was around every play on defense. He's going to play for the Florida Gators.
Yeah,
that's painful.
Don't hurt yourself saying that. Yeah.
But he was all over the place. And then, Bailey, he does a good job reading those blocks, running as a quarterback. And, when he drops back to pass, that's almost just as good as a run, because there was no way those Flossmoor defenders were running him down when he scrambled.
Well, the other thing that we saw with Bolingbrook that we really liked is they can run an open field very well. They read their blockers. They're not always trying to outrun people.
Kick returns look good.
They did a very good job. So definitely going to be a team that, we're about to talk about in about 5 seconds from now. So.
Again, just makes that 8A seems to look stronger every week.
Yep.
But as you alluded to, when we come back, we're going to be previewing 5 games. Might talk more about Bolingbrook Lincoln Way East. But, that might be something you might be interested in on Friday night when we come back here at IllinoisPrep.com. Welcome back in, IllinoisPrep.com. Talking Week 6 preview, and we have 5 games for you. Mount Carmel is going to be at Loyola. Nazareth at JCA. We've got Providence and Brother Rice going at a couple 3-2 teams in conference. Prairie Ridge at Crystal Lake South. And then Bolingbrook at home against Lincoln Way East. Conference title on the line. What are your thoughts, Mr. Seals?
I think it's going to be definitely one of the top 10 games of the year. These 2 teams both have beaten Homewood Flossmoor. Bolingbrook has showed the stellar offense they have with Aaron Bailey and company. And then you have Lincoln Way East which not only has a nasty defense, but Mr. J.J. Robertson, who will just fire up the field.
And Mr. Winkler can chuck it all over the 4 touchdown passes in the last game.
Exactly, if you let him. So when it comes to the picks, how does he have to get the picks? I'm going to have to go with the Bolingbrook Raiders.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You're with me.
I mean, I know they let him back in late, but when you saw that, to me, that's just they let up. They put on an onslaught against Homewood Flossmoor in the first half against an offense that, again, video game numbers early in the season. You know, we joked about basketball scores.
Yep.
2 picks, 1 they took to the house, and Aaron Bailey was just the best athlete out there when he was on offense, and Antonio Morrison was just the best athlete out there when they were on defense. And I just don't know how many you have to be a truly complete team, you know, with skill all over the place to beat a team that has a superior athlete all over the place. So yeah, I like Bolingbrook as well. Crystal Lake South, Prairie Ridge. Crystal Lake South got a big field goal in a game that we were at. Is the miracle kicker going to be able to come through for him again in this big game?
I think it's going to be not close enough to matter. I think Prairie Ridge is going to take out both of the Crystal Lake schools, Central and South. The powerful offense, Nick Neeson, 166 yards passing, 40 yards rushing, combined with 3 touchdowns last week. I think Prairie Ridge is going to continue.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see from either one of those teams that they could score points on good teams. Mm-hmm. You know, it was power running game, but if you crowded the line, you could stop both those offenses, talking about Lake Zurich and Crystal Lake South. Yeah. I think Prairie Ridge is a team on a mission up there in that area, like Homewood Flossmoor's Indiana, you call Wisconsin. I think Prairie Ridge is going to roll to 9-0 this year, and they win this football game. Sort of a which way are they going to go game when you talk about Providence, Brother Rice. They both lost 2 in a row after starting out 3-0. Both need a win to feel a little better about the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm actually going to have to go with Brother Rice on this one. Based on what happened at the last week, quarterback having a concussion out of the game.
Chris Salazar.
The chance of him coming back after that, especially with what's been going on with concussions lately, is very unlikely.
Chances of them letting him come back.
Well, regardless, coming back, letting him come back.
Him wanting to come back is different.
Well, we know he wants to, but Brother Rice, I think they're going to have to take the win on that one.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you saw what happened without Salazar against Rita.
It was ugly.
Brother Rice, again, both these teams need this game a lot. Mm-hmm. And, Brother Rice almost beat Rita. Brother Rice took their lumps against, both these teams are taking their lumps against good teams. I think Brother Rice comes out with a victory, goes 4-2, moves closer to the playoffs, and Providence is going to have some work to do late in the season. Hopefully they get Salazar back, because if they do, then they're still going to be a very dangerous team. Nazareth at 4-1, going into the Lions Den, known as Joliet Memorial. And the Hilltoppers have just been unstoppable this year.
I'm sorry, Nazareth. I know you guys are 4-1, and you guys have actually a stellar, fantastic coach. But the way JCA is playing this year, the way Malin Jones is looking, the way Dan Sharp is keeping them coached up, just the fact that they're called Joliet Catholic, I'm going to have to go with them.
Yeah, I think the Joliet Catholic might be one of those teams, or if not the team, that you're like, just the name on the front of the jersey is worth a touchdown. Yeah, and so it's like they're up 7-0 to start the game. Yeah, I think this might be a game where a typical team would be like, yeah, Nazareth's 4-1, but they haven't really proven anything. But I think this Joliet Catholic team is really upset about what happened last year to them in the playoffs, and they are just out to, since that Carmel game, there have been no close ones. So the question is, in this last one, rematch of a thriller last year at Loyola, back at Loyola, the Caravan roll in.
Mount Carmel coming up there last year, it was just a fantastic game. Based off of Malcolm Weaver not being there last week. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if it was hurt, if it was an academic issue, if it was he missed practice. So I'm not going to make any assumptions.
Okay, before you say anything, I'll throw this out there. I'll put the caveat in. Malcolm Weaver's playing the Ramblers and winning this football game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but you just jumped in and steal my thunder, so it seems like I'm copying you every time.
Right.
So
probably are. 'Cause, I mean, I'm 3 picks ahead.
They say he's going to play, but that type of thing is iffy to me. So I have to go with the Caravan because I have to go with what I know for sure.
I'll pick Loyola.
I know you will, because you just don't want to agree with me. That's fine.
I think there's no way Malcolm Weaver's going to miss this football game unless someone chopped his leg off between 2 weeks ago and this game. It's a unique opportunity. Again, we talked about how they get him at home 2 years in a row.
Yep.
This is, despite the fact that they lost a ton of starters, this senior class, when you talk about Weaver and some of these receivers that he's throwing to, they got to have this game circled and say, we don't have a ton of opportunities where we're at this level where we get a shot to legitimately beat Mount Carmel.
Overtime last year.
Yeah, overtime last year, and they say we got them back at home. This is it. The time is now. We need to get it done, and if we do, then we got to be considered probably co-favorites with Maine South for that 8A title, despite the loss last year.
I kind of like that. Yeah, it very much well could be.
And granted, I will say that this is also one of those where this game's bigger for Loyola than it is for Mount Carmel.
Yes.
Because, Mount Carmel says, we beat Loyola most years, so it's not as big for them. Loyola doesn't get this chance every year.
Both of these teams lost to Maine South last year.
Absolutely.
So
we will see if the Caravan and the state record holder Frank Valenti can come through for Eric. Until next week, when we'll be recapping these 5 games and previewing 5 more. At Skylar iPrep, at Eric iPrep, again with basketball, I don't know what he's doing. We will see you next time here on IllinoisPrep.com.